Hello, my dears, it's Katie, and I'm here today to talk about my December reading plans. So, I'm kind of hoping to have a chill December in terms of my reading and everything. What went out with all the holidays and work being a little bit crazy as usual. I mean, what else is new? I say that literally every video, it feels like. You guys know that I'm already planning on doing the winter quest for the bookie trials, and that TBR should have gone up recently. So you guys know that I'm really reading two books. I'm planning on reading A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, and then I'm planning on reading The Tea Dragon Festival by Katie O'Neill, and that those two books combined will satisfy all of the prompts that I need to read. I'm really looking forward to participating, and that's only a week-long thing, so I'm hoping that I'll get through those fairly quickly. I probably should. I've read both of them. Well, no. I've read A Christmas Carol before, and the Tea Dragon Festival is short. It's a graphic novel, so I'm not expecting it to take up a whole ton of my time. So hopefully I can get through those fairly quickly, in less than a week actually. So we'll see how that goes. But then just to continue on with the other things that I want to do in December, I want to finish my reread of Assassin's Apprentice with Vendi. We've been kind of taking a bit of a break. Things have been a little bit chaotic and we haven't really had much time to read. We're discussing starting at the beginning again, but we're about we're on chapter 10, or I'm on chapter 10. I think she's on 9, but whatever. So I haven't decided if I'm going to also restart or if I'm just gonna look back at the things I've tabbed and just kind of discuss them with her as she does the read thing. But hopefully we'll be able to finish this. So that's my buddy read for December. I'm not taking part in the Big Ass Book Club of the month this month because I've already read the book. They're reading The Prior of the Orange Tree. I read that back in September. Absolutely loved it. Would recommend. But anyway, another book that I want to get to in December is the Enchanted Sonata by Heather Dixon Walwork. I have heard incredible things about this book from Cara, and I was just like, you know what? I need a new Christmas book for this year, and I'm just obsessed with all things Nutcracker. I'm just really intrigued to see how this works. Like, the font is huge, so I'm expecting to fly my way through this. I don't know if I'm gonna read this right away or if I'm gonna wait until it gets closer to Christmas to pick this up, but regardless, I am definitely gonna read this in December, and I'm so incredibly excited because it just seems like something that I'd really love. And then I'm going to also read a book that I've been dying to read for forever, but I deliberately put it on my TBR for this year as one that I needed to get to. And that is Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. This is literally a book about building a cathedral. It's a historical fiction book, but it is also, I think it's just multi-genred. It's just everything that I personally would want in a book that is like not fantasy. I'm so excited to get to it. I know it's huge. It's like close to 1,000 pages, if not 1,000 pages long. And I'm just so excited to finally pick it up. And I've heard that it moves really quickly, so I'm hoping to get through it fairly quickly. So we'll see what happens, fingers crossed. So looking forward to that. So the next two and the last two that I want to read this month is for a project that I am going to try. This is something that's my own adventure, my own thing that I'm doing. I'm doing a reread slash second chance readathon for myself, and there are two books that are on it for the moment. They're both the first book in a series that I've read before, but I never finished the series or never continued on, and I just feel really unhappy with my bookshelves at the moment. I'm happy with parts of them, but I'm unhappy with other parts of them. And it's just really frustrating to take a look and just feel overwhelmed by my bookshelves. Even though I've read majority of the books that are on there, I just feel unsatisfied with how they're situated, how they're organized, and how they just are right now. And you guys will see soon that I did do a reorganization, and I feel a little bit better since then. But there are some books that I'm just like super on the fence about. And I'm like, why are these on my shelf? I have no interest in maybe picking up or continuing on with them. And I'm just like, why did I hang on to these? And I just feel very kind of tied down by them. So in order to decide if I'm going to unhaul a series or at least do something else with them, like take them at least off my shelf and put them somewhere else, I'm doing this reread / second chance-a-thon thingy for myself. And the first book that I'm going to do that with is Artemis Fowl by Ian Owen Colfer. I keep calling him that because I don't actually know the proper pronunciation, because I know that it can be both of those. But for those of you who don't know, Artemis Fowl follows a young criminal mastermind hacker fellow by the name of Artemis Fowl as he hacks into a fairyland or something. It's been so long since I've read this, but I remembered actually really liking the first 3 books in the series, but I haven't read them recently enough to be able to know if I still enjoy them. I also have not read the entire series. I only read the first, I think either 2 or 3. I have the first 3, and I just feel like I'm due for a reread to determine whether or not it's something that I'd want to continue on with, and also if it's something that I want to have on my shelf anymore. I actually was on the verge of unhauling this, but then I, was watching and talking with Cara, who is a huge fan of the series, and she convinced me to give it another try, especially since I didn't finish the series. So I'll be interested to see what I think of this now that I'm older, and just see how I feel about it. So I'm looking forward to this reread, actually, and we'll see what happens. Then the next one is one that I have struggled with for a long time. I read the first book and I really enjoyed it back in, 7th, 8th grade, I want to say. And then I started the second book and I put it down and stopped right in the middle, chapter 16, and I just couldn't continue on. And I was just having a really difficult time with even considering wanting to pick it back up again, especially since I talked to people about the series after it was finished and as it was going on, and I heard very, very mixed things, but more negative things than positive things. Like, I know some people who just got really bored in the middle of, I don't know which one it was, and just didn't continue and finish it. I know some other people who really, really enjoyed it and ended up reading it all the way through, but then they didn't like the very end and how some things wrapped up. And then I know the people who absolutely loved it, like no flaws, thought it was perfection. And that series is The Inheritance Cycle by Christopher Paolini. As I said, I read the first book and I really, really enjoyed it. I love the world building. I loved the idea of I love Saphira and Aragon's relationship, and I really liked a lot of the characters that he met along the way. There were a lot of predictable things in this book. Like, even at a young age, I was able to figure some of the things out. And I know it gets revealed later. So, I do know some spoilers for the series and big ones, but I just could not make my way through Eldest. So I'm planning on just giving this one a second try just to see how I feel now, and if I don't end up liking the first book, then I just won't continue on and won't finish the series. As I've kind of mentioned, I have no qualms DNFing series these days. But when it comes to actual books, it's kind of not a thing. But I figured, this is a book series that I've kind of been a little sad that I never continued on with, and I just didn't know why. I just got so bored in the middle of Eldest. So if I am as in love with the first book as I was the first time around. Then I'll go on the second book and see how I feel. If I don't like the second one, then I just, once again, won't continue on. So we'll just make this a trial and error experience. But I'm really intrigued to see what I think about this second time around. So I just realized I never told you what this is about. Aragon is about a young farm boy who finds a dragon egg, and he ends up forming this bond with this dragon. It's one of the last dragon eggs on the planet at that point. And the dragon egg hatches, and it's just kind of about Aragon and this dragon's bond, and him just going on this journey to save his hometown or something. I don't even know anymore, but it's literally about a boy and a dragon. And I love me some dragons, but just for some reason I could not get through the second book. So we'll see how I feel the second time around and go from there. So those are all of my plans for December. We'll see what actually ends up happening, because as we know these days, my plans don't always go according to plan. I'm really trying to break my habit of not trying to force myself to read things that I'm really not into at a time, but like I can't DNF. So I have to make a decision. Like if I'm not feeling this book at this given time, then like decide before you start reading it, you know, kind of a thing. So I'm just trying to go with my gut and try and make this more enjoyable, because I've just had a really difficult time with my reading the last couple of months. For some reason, I just have not been picking the right books for me at any given moment. I guess except for the Atlantis Grail, but that's like the exception to everything these days, I swear to God. Because I love that series, even though I hate it. Like, who even knows? And I just want the fourth book to come out. Like, just give me the end of that series so I can just, be at peace. But it's still being written. It's not quite finished yet. But anyway, I for sure, I want to get to all of these. I'm kind of in the mood for all of these. But in some way, I kind of want to prioritize these two, because I want to go into the new year having a definitive answer about the series and just going into the new decade. Like, let's be honest. Fresh start in multiple ways. Like, new decade, new year. Great. And I want to know if these are books that I should even have on my shelf. So anyway, hopefully I can get to all of them. Some of these are fairly short. Like, I think I could probably finish Artemis Fowl pretty quickly. Same with the Enchanted Sonata and Dickens and Tea Dragon Festival. Those are all fairly short books. So I'm hoping I get through them fairly quickly, but as I said, we'll see what happens. You never know at this time of year. It is a very crazy time of year. But I'm really looking forward to it, and let me know down below if you've read any of these or are planning on reading any of these, or thoughts on these two if you've read them, and if you think if you think I should pursue continuing them, especially this one. This one is more likely than not going to be something that I like, but we'll see. But particularly I want to know about Aragon. So yeah, that's about all I've got for you guys today. You guys know the drill. I have all of my social media links down below in the description. I have a Twitter, which is @ASeaOfTomes, which is the same as my handle here. And I also have my Goodreads page linked down below, where you guys can go over there and follow me, see what I'm reading, track my progress, and see my general superficial thoughts on things before I come and scream at you about them over here. And then I have my Ships and Fandoms page linked down below for your viewing pleasure if you're interested. But other than that, I'll catch you later soon. Bye!